7:14. Doc Osgood's here.
Well, it is going to be a great week. I'm loving this weather.
Remember 2 years ago? Snow.
Yeah.
That's when we started every weekend, every first weekend, and starting in December, we had snow.
Yeah.
And that's even the year I think that Springfield, Missouri had a little bit of snow in first part of May.
Yeah, right.
And those flurries up there, that's scary.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get through Christmas without any snow.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Yeah, put it off as long as possible. That'd be great. But we're doing our food drive down at the office, Mountain Home Family Chiropractic. Every year between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we try to give back just a little bit. And for the Mountain Home Food Basket, we are collecting donations. And anybody who just wants to donate, would like to help out the cause, can certainly bring by a donation. And if you want to have chiropractic services for your donation, we're also doing that. So new patients can come in for a $25 donation and receive the new patient exam with x-rays and scan and everything. Wow. And so that $25 goes to the food basket. And for existing patients who are already current patients who would like to just come in for an adjustment, come in for a visit, especially if they're having to pay cash every time, it's $25 for to come in for a visit, and that $25 goes to Mountain Home Food Basket. So we're donating our services, and the folks that come in are donating a little bit of money, and hopefully we can collect quite a bit of money to donate this year. So
that's going to be good.
Yeah, it's fun.
And the food basket, they can stretch $1.
Yeah. And that's why we've been doing money donations. We used to do canned food donations, but we found that money can go a lot further if we give money donations. So that's what we've been doing.
$25, they can get about $40 to $44, $45 worth of groceries for about $20. Tongue in cheek there,
Yeah,
but,
and
with the discounts.
And that's
as compared to standard retail.
Yeah, and that's why we do it, so that they can make as much use of it as possible. And there are times when we'll collect either from $600 to $1,000 just for the food basket. So it's usually a pretty good deal. So. But yeah, we have fun doing it, and like I said, it's just a little way we can give back a little bit to the community and help out just a little bit here. This time of year is kind of tough for a lot of folks. So, and food basket, I'm sure their shelves start to get depleted this time of year too. So
yeah,
but
it's hard to imagine in this nice little serene community of Mountain Home, Arkansas, that would be a need.
Oh yeah,
but it's a great need.
It is, and like I say, it is hard to imagine because we were so blessed. We have so many things here and so many good folks in this, town. And I guess that's why we have so many good folks. We have so many people who give, too. So that's a good thing.
I can't imagine, being in that situation. But about 3 weeks ago, there was a young man, 21 years old, homeless, sleeping on this sidewalk out here in front of the radio station.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. You don't see it that often in this town, but you do see it. I've seen people holding signs in this town, for out of work or whatever, and traveling and passing through and ran out of money, that sort of thing. So yeah, it is a great need this time of year, and we do what little we can just to help out a little bit. So we have fun doing it. So. Other than that, at the office, we've been seeing a lot lately of still, raking the leaves, and it's a big thing this time of year.
I'm done.
Yeah, thank goodness. I think I'm getting there. Of course, I've got a son who helps me out, so that helps out. But raking the leaves, that pulling and twisting movement, it's really tough on the lower back and the joints of the lower back, the sacroiliac joints. And those are typically what start to bother most people when they're doing that kind of motion on a regular basis. And, just you got to be careful. And there's also dangers of getting on the roof and cleaning out your gutters.
Oh, yeah.
And falling off the roof, those type of things. I've had patients who've done that too.
That'll jar everything.
Yeah, I've had patients who've done that too. So definitely have to be real careful, especially when you get on the roof.
Just think of this. Some people with a taller ceiling putting up the Christmas tree and that top ornament's on the ladder.
Reaching up for everything. Yep.
A little bit of a slip and a fall.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things. And putting the lights up outside on the roof, and those things. Just really ought to be careful when you're doing those things. And it's something that we do see. Like I said, I've had folks who've taken a spill off of the roof that have come in the office. So be careful when you're out there doing those things, and just know that if you do mess something up, we're there. We can definitely help you. So,
but let's reiterate the fact of having a good chiropractic routine already in place.
Yeah.
Let's say I haven't been by in a while, and I need to for another adjustment. I like to come at least once a month, if not twice, but been busy with other things.
And that's what people do. And just time gets in the way.
Time gets in the way. And so, hypothetical, let's say I'm on the step ladder up 3 rungs. I'm putting the little angel on top of the tree, and after I let go, I fall backwards. I land on my hips.
Yeah.
I hurt my legs, and,
Right.
If I'm a regular chiropractic patient and doing my routine the way it should be, do you think that's going to hurt me as bad as if I've not been to my chiropractor in 5 years?
Yeah, right. That's a big deal. When you're regularly adjusted and maintained well, you maintain a good alignment on the spine. When you have those little accidents, they heal up a lot faster.
Yeah.
And you will get pain relief a lot faster because you've been adjusted regularly. And we see folks who come in, most of the time folks come in because they have a hurt. They've got an ouch. There was a problem. But then they continue with the care because of the wellness benefits of chiropractic care.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefit to
to
keeping a good adjustment on the spine. And one of those benefits is immune system function. You're going to get a lot of frogs in my throat.
Ribbit.
You're going to get a lot of function from the immune system. It's boosted every time you're adjusted. And so that function of the immune system will help things like allergies, will help things like
what about
colds and flus, digestive issues.
I think it would help digestive issues.
Yeah,
too.
digestive issues. There's a lot of benefit to, because if you have to think about the spine and what it controls.
Mm-hmm.
The spine controls everything in the body, every function in the body. And so it's almost like if you can think about a car and its computer and all of the wiring. If you've got a pinch in any of that wiring along anyway, you're going to have havoc in the computer system, right?
Yep.
Same thing with the spine. If you've got any kind of pressure on the nerves that control the organs and systems in the body, then you're going to have a decrease in function in those areas.
Kind of like a kink in the garden hose when I'm out watering the grass.
That's the same type of thing. Yeah.
Why does that sprinkler only come up 3 inches? Then I get the kink out and it sprays me in the face.
Exactly. And that's those type of pressures on the nerves. It's not always a pinched nerve, but it's usually an irritated nerve or a pressure on the nerve from a misalignment of the spine that's creating this havoc in your nervous system and causing the muscles to tension up, tighten up, and they pull too hard. They continue to pull vertebrae out of alignment, and then you continue to have this pain and spasm, tightness in the muscles, and it just won't seem to go away.
Okay, I've noticed your sign that the sciatica is a real pain in the butt. No pun intended.
It definitely is.
Okay, my left hip yesterday. I'm starting to hurt.
Yeah.
But it's from below the hip into the back of the leg.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a burn.
Yeah. And that's typical sciatica type pain.
Time to come see Doc Osgood.
Yeah. I mean, there's an indicator. So your body gives you indicators on what's going on. And it's, if you ignore the indicators, what tends to happen is sometimes the indicators go away if you ignore them. But then the first time you put any stress on it, bam, it hits you, and it can hit you with a vengeance. And then you're down probably for several days because you can't move. So, listen to your body. It's going to tell you when something's not working right. And that that happens quite frequently. So if you've got any of those type of things, little kind of nagging ache in the back of the leg, that's an indicator you've got something wrong.
But things I've learned from you, Doc Osgood, is foot and ankles,
feet, ankles,
knees.
Even wrists. We work with wrists and elbows.
My thumb, remember?
Yeah, every joint in the body can be misaligned, or what we call subluxated. That's the big word. You can look at my website to find that word. mountainhomechiro.com is my website, and there's all kinds of info on everything we've been talking about, sciatica, elbows, knees, wrists, ankles, hips. Yeah, necks is a big one. Yeah.
Necks, yeah.
We got just about every joint in the body can be adjusted. And so, even ears. I've had folks.
You remember that story I told you about my uncle?
Uh-huh.
My uncle just all of a sudden started having extreme dizziness to the point he couldn't even drive.
Yeah.
And he sees a massage therapist and a chiropractor on a regular basis. And it was time for his chiropractic adjustment and his massage. And the massage therapist, you're congested.
Yeah.
And started massaging the back and the mastoid bone area behind the ear.
Right.
And started massaging that. And all of a sudden he just started coughing up all this stuff. And
wow.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can walk,
right.
literally.
Your equilibrium gets off, yeah.
Literally he was in the hospital for 2 days, said, we don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Your head and neck can mess you up.
Yeah,
I got the bad neck. Sometimes you get that, when you get that little pinched nerve and you feel weak, you feel like you got baby arm.
Yeah,
you can't,
right. You can't lift your arm, yeah.
You can't, it's, you're all knotted up, as they say.
Right.
Yeah.
I
don't know what's worse, the neck or the sciatica stuff. They're both bad.
They're both really bad. And they're both pretty debilitating, too. I've had folks come in with that neck being so twisted up that they can't even move it, or they have to use their hand to help lift their head.
Been there.
Yeah, and
But then that can start triggering headaches.
Yes.
Upper back, even in the shoulder blade area.
Yeah.
And you end up taking pills.
Right, you end up popping the pills, hoping it'll go away,
all that stuff.
And if it gets bad enough, you even go in for a cortisone shot. So just, head it off before it gets that bad. If you've got any indicators like that, then there's something not working correctly.
Let's talk about, we brought up the fact that a good chiropractic regimen.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 5 days a week.
No. When you
get
to maintenance,
stabilized.
When you get to maintenance, I have people who do different things for maintenance. Some people do every 2 weeks, and they really love it because it really makes them feel healthy. Some people do once a month. Some people do 6 weeks. If you're just getting a good regular adjustment, you're going to be better off than not getting it at all and waiting 5 months before you get adjusted. So,
that makes sense.
It's just a common sense thing, kind of with the alignment on the car. If you wait and you don't align the car, then you're going to start doing damage.
Ruin your tires.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So with the alignments of the spine, when it comes to maintenance and good wellness care, that's the most important thing is do it, because if you listen to your body, it's going to tell you there's just something not working right here.
How old is the science of chiropractic? Like, when did they start to figure this stuff out?
First chiropractic adjustment was 1895, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think there were actual adjustments before then, but it wasn't chiropractic.
People were adjusting themselves.
Right, exactly. And so, the actual discovery of the science of chiropractic was back in 1895, and that's
not too long ago. I was sitting in a restaurant, and I watched this construction worker come in. He sat down with his food, and he straightened up and put his hand behind his head and on his chin, and made that sucker around. Like, I could hear it, and I thought, my God.
Right. Now,
what are you doing?
Now, we recommend you don't do that. Simply because
hyper-rotate his head off.
Yeah, that's right. And what happens when you do it yourself too much is you get hypermobile joints. You get joints that move too easy, too much.
Yeah.
And what you find is that when you do start getting adjusted and you start keeping a maintenance adjustment, you don't feel like you need to do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Let me suggest we go see Doc Osgood. He's located at 640 Highway 62 East, 425-4424.
Yep.
Real quickly, about 30 seconds before we go back to break of the...
the food basket. Make sure if you just want to give a donation, swing by and give a donation. If you want services for the donation, like I said, the exam with x-rays and everything for $25. And current patients can get adjusted for $25 donation.
I'll probably come see you before I leave on Friday. I got to drive to Tennessee and back.
That's a good time to come and get adjusted.
It sure helps alleviate. Yeah.
Chiropractic's better than crop duster loads of ibuprofen and aspirin and all that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Time for the news. We'll be right back.